Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Hope you're all doing well today on this beautiful Monday. Of course, everyone loves a Monday, the first day of the week, the first day back at work. It's quite clearly the best day of the week. Anyway, if you have been suffering from the Monday blues, hopefully today, this episode can put some joy back into your Monday with some good results against Tottenham Hotspur, who are currently top of the table. A win against them will put us top of the table, so we need to get a good result against Tottenham. And then we've also got a game against Slavia Prague in the Champions League. And as long as we don't lose it, we should be qualifying for the knockout stages of the Champions League. So quite frankly, it's a fantastic episode potentially. Obviously, not much to update you on at all, actually, because of course, last time you were here at the end of last week was Schalke and West Ham, both 2-0 wins in there, both very important wins as well. So not really too much to update you on at all, actually. So I suppose all we have to do really is jump into today's game against Tottenham first of all. Obviously, last time out, we saw Luis Gustavo get a straight red card, so he's suspended for today's game against Tottenham Hotspur, which is going to be a massive loss to us. But don't fear, we have got players in place to sort of take things over a little bit. So we're going to start at the back with Solinki in goal as per usual, with a backline of Klaassen, Juliano, Nesvich and Docktin. I've done that backwards, you usually start on the left, but I'm reading down this list instead today, which I'm doing this differently. The past few episodes I've been doing things a little bit weirdly. I don't know if it's just because I'm a bit ill and I'm just thinking I've got to do things differently. I don't quite know. I'm making it out like it's a massive deal. Obviously, it's not. So I need to just chill. Either way, that's our defence. And in the midfield, we've got Agni and Andreas back reunited after Luiz, who's had quite a long run in the lineup recently. However, he's not really been playing as well as I wanted him to play, and the plan was always to have Agni and Andreas as our starting lineup and things like that. So they're back in the squad. Chisa starts on the right with Hart in the middle of the attacking midfield, but Bizu is filling in for Gustavo in today's game against Tottenham, just because I think we're probably going to need a player of his calibre on the pitch. And of course, Peter Pelican, with 17 goals to his name already this season, is leading the line forward, which is absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we'll get a good result here against Tottenham and go top of the Premier League. So kickoff is upon us. We are away from home, which does make things a little bit more difficult, but we never are afraid of going to other places. We've won plenty of big away games over the years, and hopefully today is just another one of those, and we can go on and get all 3 points today. Tottenham, though, have not lost a game all season, as you can see from the table already, obviously. We're still second, obviously. Obviously, I didn't update you because nothing's changed since last episode, but we are still second, of course, a single point behind Tottenham. So a draw wouldn't be too bad today, but given that Tottenham haven't lost a game so far this season, it would be nice to inflict their first defeat. As the first half goes on, though, there's, well, not really a lot of things going on. Half an hour played, no highlights whatsoever. Tottenham are actually the side on top in terms of the key stats, like shots and things like that, but possession-wise, we're a bit on top, but that doesn't really count for much at all, does it? It's a very cagey game, both sides obviously wanting to preserve themselves. We're both playing in Champions League, I believe. Well, we are both playing the Champions League, I know we are, and we both want to win the league as well in the Premier League, of course, so I think we've just been a bit cagey. It's still relatively early season as well, so we don't want to really exert ourselves too much, I don't think, and as the first half goes by highlightless, hopefully there's just one highlight in the second half, which we go and score, and that would be perfect. Should probably make you aware as well, 77,000 people here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so clearly Tottenham have expanded on their new stadium in-game, because in real life it's like 62,000, I believe, or around that sort of thing, but obviously in this game it's 77 now, so clearly they've had some big expansion. Coming up to 60 minutes though, and something has to change. None of our front players are playing particularly well. I think it's time to give Steve Barnett a go. Obviously, he's the youngster that we gave our debut to in the Champions League against Real Madrid, which was a bit of a weird one, but he's the only other left-sided player we've got, really. So he's going to come on and have a go himself, I reckon. And I am tempted, actually, to bring Luizu on in the middle for Agni. Let's just see if these do anything out there. There's a highlight right now, but I think this is literally just for the substitutes coming on. But we'll watch it anyway, because it's a little bit of excitement. It's the only highlight we've seen so far, but as you can see, nothing happens, and highlight over for the substitutes. We're going to say show some passion in the final 20 minutes or so. Only Doherty's reacted to that, and that's with frustration. So clearly that wasn't the thing to go for. We might do another shout with 10 minutes to go, but you can see that Tottenham on the stats are really dominating proceedings in terms of shots and shots on target. We're holding off nicely though, and I say a 0-0 draw isn't going to be the worst result. We're going to say demand more as the final little shout. A few players looking focused there, which is good to see. And now we've got a corner. Chisa putting it in. It's all the way through to Pelican, who can get the ball back to Luizu. Luizu into Andreas. Andreas puts the shot over the bar. And I thought that was going to be the moment, but clearly it wasn't. And as the clock ticks down, I don't think we're going to see any more highlights in today's game. And I'll take a 0-0 draw. You know what? Tottenham haven't lost a game all season. They are the team to beat, clearly, and they're doing very, very well as they have a little chance at the end there. But the full-time whistle goes. A 0-0 draw is very respectable away from home, so we'll take that. Only a point behind them still. It's a full season left, basically. A long way still to go. I'm confident of our chances of still going and overtaking them later on in the season. But now the focus does shift away from the Premier League. We go on to the Champions League, this time playing Slavia Prague. And as I say earlier on, all we need is a point in this game, and we've guaranteed progression into the knockout stages of the Champions League, which is mental. Now, we beat Prague at home 4-0, I think, earlier on in the season on an episode. So I am kind of tempted to do a little bit of rotation for this game against Prague. Maybe not put out the biggest hitters. Maybe play Bizu over Peter Pelican, or even put Pomeroy on the pitch maybe, and give him a chance in the Champions League. All we need is a point, obviously, as well. So I am kind of tempted to just sort of calm things down and rotate things a little bit. Obviously, if we don't get the job done here, we have another chance to get the job done at home against Real Madrid. And obviously, we beat Real Madrid 3-0 last time. So I am confident that we have got it in us. We can actually lose today, I think, to Slavia Prague and still go through as long as Real Madrid win their game as well, actually. So really, we've got plenty of opportunities to progress. So I think it could be a good opportunity to rotate to try and rest some players for some Premier League action. What isn't going to help, though, is that David Smith is out for that game. He's out for 1 to 2 days, so it's not too big of an issue. But we are going to miss David Smith. He's a decent player at the back. Of course, we can replace him with either Les Payne or Juliano, so it's not really a big deal at all when you think about it. We've got some great quality centre-backs in our ranks. So, as I say, I am thinking about rotation, and we have a few players wanting some rest and a few players looking tired. Pelican is... he needs a change, doesn't he? So we're going to bring Pomeroy on for Pelican, leave Bizu out on the wing. Nesvich is looking tired, so we're going to bring on Les Payne for him instead in that centre-back role. Let's give Luizio a go instead of Agni as well. I just want to give Agni a little bit of rest because I don't think he played brilliantly in the Tottenham game, so I just feel like a bit of recovery for him would be quite good. Klaassen as well, he's always a player that looks kind of tired, so we're going to bring Kooks on for him. And then other players, to be fair, Jimenez is getting better from his injury now, actually. We'll put Jimenez on for Doherty as well. Let's give him a run out there today as well. We can actually play Gustavo today, of course, because, of course, he is not banned for this. So we'll put Gustavo back on the pitch as well. We'll leave Pomeroy up front, though, and Bizu can have a bit of a rest because he's got to play some games as well in the league to replace Gustavo, who's banned for 3 games for a straight red card, obviously. But other than that, I think we'll leave the lineup as it is for now. I think this still is going to be good enough to get past Prague today. So, as I say, all we need is a single point from today's game. That means that Schalke cannot get anywhere close to us. If they win their game today, they go on to 6 points. But then they can't overtake us if we get a draw today. If they win... Oh, actually, are we already qualified? No, we can't be qualified already, can we? Otherwise, I would know about that. What? How did I not know we were qualified already? Because at the end of last episode, I was like, we're not qualified yet, we're not qualified yet, I know we're not qualified yet, but what happened in the last game? We beat Schalke, and I don't quite know why I didn't think we had qualified, but just seeing them on 5 points then when I was on 11, I was like, well, aren't we already qualified? Okay, I've made a massive error of judgment here. Again, you keep pointing out to me that sometimes my maths is just completely off in some of these situations. Pomeroy gets his first goal of this season, his first ever Champions League goal as well to put us 1-0 up. But it's not that exciting actually because we've already qualified. It's quite anticlimactic actually, if I'm honest with you. Like, what's the point of even doing this episode now? Like, I can't believe I've got that completely wrong. I didn't realise we'd even qualified. I must have missed like a news article as well. That's the thing. I must have missed the news article, or unless of course. I don't know how I missed it. Did you see it in the last episode? A message saying that we'd already qualified? Because I must have gone through the news articles after the game and showed you them. Surely that would have told us that we were qualified. I'm very confused. Well, I'm not confused. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter now. We're qualified from our group. We're into the knockout stage of the Champions League already, which is absolutely mental. I'm well pleased with that. So that's already a massive step forward for us. And it also means that there's no chance of us winning the Europa League in this Lincoln Loco save. For a few seasons I was thinking we're going to be in the Europa League and we might actually win a Europa League, but we've never been in it and we're never ever going to be in it as Pomeroy gets his second goal of the game, his second of the season. And we've got to reflect that we're never going to win the Europa League, but we have got the Champions League as an option, which is, to be fair, I'd take the Champions League over the Europa League, obviously. I don't know why to make that obvious, but I did think for a long time we'd be fighting for Europa League and I thought that'd be quite entertaining, but we've never ever actually got there for some, bizarre reasons in the past for not qualifying and things like that. But I reckon, given our 3-0 thrashing of Real Madrid, we could go pretty far in the Champions League. Obviously, Real Madrid are beating Schalke as well right now, so they're only a point behind us. which would mean that the game that we play against them next time, that sort of goes down to whoever wins that, or well, I suppose whoever draws it, whoever wins it will go top of the group, which means you have a slightly, well, should have a slightly easier draw for the first knockout round. But I'm not really too fussed. As long as we're there, I don't really mind if we come first or second in the group, especially with Real Madrid in it. Like, I really don't mind at all. Good to see some highlights in this game, though. Obviously, we didn't have any. We had one against Tottenham, didn't we? And it just went over the bar. So it's good to see some goals and some highlights in today's game. Hopefully, though, we get a few more goals. And I don't want to see any goals for Prague as they look to come forward now on the ball into their striker who puts it just over the bar. I think early in the second half, I want to take Chris Hart off the pitch. He's looking quite tired. And actually, we should probably give someone like Steve Barnett a go out there, although he's not really too keen in playing that position. What about Brad Parker? Does he like to play in that position? If we put Chris Hart, and neither of them like playing there really, but we'll put Barnett on because I just think Barnett deserves a little run out there. Obviously, we've not really seen much youth development in this save because we've just not really had the opportunity to do so because the board have been really crap with upgrading facilities for a long time. In Football Manager 20, though, youth development is going to be a massive part of the save that we're going to be doing, so look forward to that. And of course, if you do like the youth development stuff, there are some youth development sort of perk things in the Patreon. So if you want to go look at the Patreon, the link in the description there's some youth development stuff there which you might be interested in. I don't know. Let me know if you are interested in that kind of stuff, though, because if you are, I can leave it in there. If none of you are interested, I can sort of take it out, replace it with other things. Like, let me know what perks you want to see in that Patreon as well, because it's always up to you guys as well, what you want and things like that. Feedback in regards to anything is always welcome, whether it's videos or, I don't know, social media or the Patreon or anything like that. Any feedback, always welcome in the comment section on Twitter, on the Discord, anything like that. Just let me know, because it's always valuable to hear from you guys who watch my videos day in, day out. Anyway, as Real Madrid go 2-1 up against Schalke, as we can see in the top left corner here, hopefully Schalke grab an equaliser. That'd be really good right at the end of the game. Prague have a corner which goes in the back of a net. They've pulled one goal back, which is obviously very nice for them. But I don't think they're going to score another one, which is always the famous last words, actually, isn't it, now I think about it. Let's not get too carried away with ourselves here, Tom. There's a highlight straight from kickoff, which is never promising, and it could mean there's a goal coming for Prague, although Barnett picks the ball up in towards Pomeroy, puts the ball over the bar. One final chance for Prague to come forward. Luis Gustavo gets rid of the free kick, but there's still 30 seconds on the clock, and Prague coming forward. We want the win today to stay on top of the group, and I think we're going to get the win because the referee's now, he's just sent Luizu off, which is obviously rubbish. That's really frustrating with 10 seconds to go, but we can also praise Luizu because he has sort of wasted 10 seconds of the game there. This will come in, keeper collects it, surely that's it now. I mean, really, Luizu was just making sure that we won today's game, really, I think. You know, we can't be too harsh on him. It does mean he'll miss the Real Madrid game, but, I mean, we can sacrifice him for that. We've got Agni instead, which is absolutely fine. The whistle does go. Luizu, I suppose, maybe saves us a little bit there. He stopped them scoring a goal, perhaps. I don't know if you can say that or not, but we have won today's game 2-1, which is fantastic. We go top of Group B in the Champions League as well. And we are definitely in to the knockout stage as well. So what a great episode. So importantly then, when is the knockout draw? Oh, okay. Champions League first knockout draw is after the Arsenal game. Coincidentally, also Carabao Cup quarter-final with Southampton. So actually, next episode then, we'll go for this Arsenal and Southampton game. In the middle, we'll have the Champions League knockout draw, which should be quite interesting, actually, to see who we get. So that's what we're going to do next episode. How many games is that in between, then? Actually, not many at all. Just literally these ones. So, again, we're making a bit of slow progress this season, but of course it's the last season before FM20 comes out, so we can take our time with it. We want to enjoy this last season as well, so I'm not really too fussed with how long it will take. Again, it's amazing as well. One loss this entire season so far. We've been absolutely impeccable. I mean, I'm quite disappointed with that loss, actually, because it's just a red blotch, isn't it? A red blotch on the dots of green and yellow. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.